Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a small tutorial here on how to use RiseVision. I'm working at my computer from home here, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up a Google browser and pull this over, and then we're going to go to RiseVision. I already have it down here, but as you can see it's just www.risevision.com. Please bear with me as well, my internet connection is quite a bit slower than those at the school. So I'm going to log in here, and basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to log in with Google. This comes up automatically. This is a nice little video, gives you a little bit of information. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I kind of like to keep it coming back just in case I want to review it later. So this is our RiseVision page right here. As you can see right here, I'm logged in with my own email address from the school here, as I've been using this for the school. So we have a number of different things up here. We have users. I haven't added any other users yet. I will later on, and basically everybody would then be able to use the same page here. But for right now, I have basically nothing. So right now I have some presentations already made, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a whole new one to kind of show you how this works. I'm going to start out over here with schedules. So this is my test schedule. I'm going to add a schedule, and what this is going to allow us to do is this is going to allow us to put all of the TVs onto a schedule where they automatically start playing at certain times. So what I'm going to do is I'll name it training, and then let's see, we're going to go with our timeline. Let's edit this. So we don't really want it all day. All day wouldn't be a good idea. So right now this is for the high school, so we'll put it at 7 a.m. That way when the kids start arriving, it's already playing. We'll put the end time at say 4:15. That way it's a little bit after school, keeps playing for a little while. We can always change this later. So we don't really want an end date, but we are going to go with weekly, and then let's go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Alright, so then we save this, and then we now have our training, and we can save it. So we go back to schedules here, and now you can see that we have two different ones. Now obviously right now they're going to conflict with each other, and that's going to be an issue. What we would do is later on we will go back and we would actually set the distribution. Actually right now I guess they won't, because this one's not set to actually be distributed right now, whereas if we go to the other one, the test one, it is set to be distributed. So right now the test one will continue to play and the training one won't, but we can just change that at any time by unchecking this one, going back, and then we would just check the other one. Oh, we got data is loading. We'll just kind of skip over there. We'll go to displays. Currently we don't have any displays. We're working on getting those up and running as we're speaking when this video is being made, so we don't actually have any to put up here just yet to show you that. But we do have storage. At this time, this is what the storage looks like on this one that I have created right now. And basically these are just a bunch of images that I've created for a test one. So I'll go ahead and close this out, but we could manage that. We could delete images off of there, we could upload images. Basically we can create a new folder here, and we'll say images for training, and we'll create that folder. And let's see, where did that show up at? Images for training right here. So we've got the little / here, which is basically saying that this is another folder. We could sort by type here, and then we get our folders up at the top. So if we had multiple folders, they would just come up there at the top. We have our file size, so if we're trying to eliminate size, then obviously we could come down here and add, delete, whatever we needed. We got our delete button here. All we'd have to do is check it and then delete it. Alright, so now I'm going to close this out. and I'm going to skip the gadgets. Gadgets is a little bit more advanced, so maybe we can get a separate tutorial going for that later on. But for right now, I'm just going to go to the presentations. We're going to have to wait here while the data loads. Basically what we're going to have here is we can create as many different templates as we want. We can edit current templates, we can delete templates, and we can basically just create a huge list if we really wanted to. So right now I have two. I have copy of the high school Rise display and copy of layout H. I haven't renamed them yet. I'm not sure why, I just didn't. I'll show you this one later, as this is the one that I've actually gone through and done all the editing with, and the one that I think that we're going to end up using as the model until we get one mapped out from the administrators. But for right now, basically what we're going to do is just come over here to add template. From here, these are all the layouts that are already created. Now we can take one of these, we could delete everything off of it, and we could start absolutely from scratch if we needed to. If you don't want to start from scratch, you just want to start, you know, one from one of these, basically what we could do, I kind of liked this one, so we'll preview this one just so you can kind of see it. It opens up, as you can see, in a whole new window. I guess this wasn't the one, but I'm going to click hide right there. But basically this is just kind of loading it up. It's showing you this is one of the many different things that you could do with it. I'm going to close that one. Don't really like that one. Let's try this demo one here. This one's basically about the same thing. They just did it in a different way in case you wanted your monitor to be up and down and elongated. We're not really doing that, but just kind of shows you some of the other things that you can do with it. Obviously, put a picture here, nice little logo up here, so on and so forth. We come down and where was it? There's a school one on here somewhere. I'm probably just, there it is, high school. We've got portrait, and we're going to use this one though. We'll preview this one. So this one is a little bit more toward what we would probably want to go with based on the fact that it is widescreen, and that's how our monitors are going to be set up. So what they have here is they actually have a cool little thing here that's events. They've got a nice little gadget here that's showing the current weather. So it's kind of nice. So what I'll do is we'll close this. Now we'll go to this high school right here, and we're going to select it. So we are now editing this template right here. So what we can do here is this is the background right here, which is kind of cool. The whole background is actually this blue with this white piece right here. We could create multiple different backgrounds to kind of go on here. We just have to find someone to kind of customize that stuff for us or create it ourselves. I'm sure that Mrs. Anderson down in the business department could probably have her students or maybe even herself help us out with making some of that kind of stuff. But right here, what we'll do is we'll right click this and we'll go to properties. Now right here we could delete this out, and then we could put a whole new one. So what I'll do is I'll delete this here, and then I'm going to add. Once you hit add, it's going to give you a whole bunch of different things. It's going to ask you what you actually want to add. Do we want to add content, text, presentation, an image, a video, or HTML, where we can kind of put in our own HTML from there. I'm just going to go with an image. I'm going to go to our storage. It's going to bring this up, and I'm going to go with the EASD, as that is the EASD logo that we had that I just kind of pulled from the servers. I'll save it, and it comes up right there. Now I can right click and go to properties here. Down here is this scale to fit. We click this and we save, and we notice that it gets bigger. So now it's scaling all the way up to the top and bottom of where this is. So now if we, there we go. So now I can kind of make it as big or as small as I want. I'll put it right about there, and then I can kind of move that further up into the corner if I like. Then we can come down, and this part's actually kind of cool. So if I go to the properties on this picture here, you'll notice that we have school grade sample. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there, and I'm just going to add an image, and I'm going to go to the storage, and I'm going to go with this Chevy Camaro here. And then I put these Camaro pictures on there just for this training, by the way. I'm going to go to add again, and image, storage, and we'll go with the 1971 Camaro on there. And we can actually change the image name too, so put 71 Camaro right here. And then let's go to this one here, and it says it's 2012. So 2012. This way we know what our pictures are right here as we're looking at it. So now we can add another image. We'll go to the storage again, and we have this one. I believe this is an 89 Camaro. I'm just guessing here. Alright, so I'll leave it at this right here. But now I actually have to go back in here, and I'm going to go scale to fit, because I know that at least one of these images actually gets so big that all you can see is maybe about a corner of the car right here. So when I first started playing around with it, I kind of put these up here for my training purposes as well. So I'm going to go scale to fit on all of those. This one's already scaled to fit, so we'll save, then we'll save, and it comes up with this one first. So now we go to properties. Now we can change the order of this. So if I want that school grade sample back up at the top to be the first image, there we go. Now nothing's happening right now because we're in the middle of editing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to save this, and I'm going to push this little preview button right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring it up, and now if you watch, give this a couple of seconds and it should change to the next one. Let's hide that. Oh, there it is. So it'll slowly go through all of the pictures that we have put on there. And like I said, this is just a preview, so we can go through and we can change this. And just click the X and we're right back at it right here. We can actually go back to the properties here. And a couple of really cool things that we can do here. Let's see here. Transitions, we can change this to a fade transition. And then we could save that. Go back into the properties. I think that's about it. Oh, duration. Oh, that's the distribution, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just putting in the stuff that we did earlier. So we could change the background if we want. We really don't want to on this because we're scaling it to fit the size. So we can just go with this, and what it does is it will automatically put a clear, if the image, say, kind of like this one, where it scales in and it's still missing some of the sides here, the application here will actually do is it will automatically create this as a transparent background, so anything behind it will just kind of show through, which is kind of what I like to do, just because I think it looks nicer. It takes this background and puts it up. We can then come over here, and I could change this right here, and this is just some text right here, and I could actually change this to designed by EASD. And we'll go save. Oh, and even though I put that on there, it looks like this was part of the background. So, but basically this is just a small text box that they had on there. And then this is basically the same thing right here. So we'll go to the properties, and all we have is just a text box with a transparent background. So we come in here, and if this is our school, we'll say back to school. We'll say maybe we want to put October 3rd. No school. I think that's one of the one's on the calendar. I could be mistaken. I'm just doing this for training purposes anyway. Might as well put a date on there, as this video could last a while. Who knows? Maybe I'll remake it. Maybe someone else will remake it. But basically, that's all this is. This is just a text box, easy for us to manipulate. We've got sizes, we've got fonts. You can change the color, highlights. You can do a good amount of things with this. We just click save, and it will change it right there. We come over here to properties, and this one's the same thing, but as you can see, it's in white. So it's a little bit harder, but we could change this to say maybe announcements or something. I know you can't see that. There we go. That was a little bit too big, but let's see. Can we? I guess we have to kind of. There we go. It kind of goes over a little bit, but that's all right. You get the general idea. So that's basically how we would do this. Now, a couple of other things that we can do here is we can come up here to this box right here. We'll click this, and I'm just going to save it right away so that I can move it up to here so you can kind of see that it's now an empty box. Properties, I can add something right here. So if I wanted to add some type of content, text, presentation, an image, a video, say I wanted to have, another thing of pictures going. Maybe I wanted to put in a presentation. I don't actually have one ready that I could put in here right now, unfortunately. But basically, you could put anything you want into this box, put it anywhere. I can make these gadgets smaller. We've got 2 clocks right here. I'm not quite sure why we need 2. We can go to the properties here, and this is kind of cool too, because what we can kind of do with this is, let's say we don't want it to be a 12-hour clock, we want it to be 24-hour. We want military time. Alright, say we want to have a military time right next to our regular time for those students who are maybe interested in joining the armed forces, and maybe that's something they want to do later on, so we want to kind of get them in the habit of seeing that time. That could be kind of a nice thing for them. We could also change the background. Say we want to do a purple background because we're purple and gold, right? It's not really going to match at all with this blue background, but that's alright. This is just a demonstration. So we'll go save, and then it's not going to show up right now. In order to actually see it, we'll have to save and then preview. So then we'll go to the preview. I clicked it too early. There we go. See how it comes up in purple up there now? And it's showing, I guess that one just shows the date. So we could change that. So let's close this. Now you can see how we have this text box went over here. The text box we didn't put anything in obviously doesn't show up at all because there's nothing in it to show. And then let's see, let's go back over to this one. We'll go properties, and oh, here we go. So we didn't have the box checked. There we go. So now we check the box. We'll go save. We'll save it here, and then we'll preview it again. And there we go. It shows 1319. So 119, 1319. We would then have to come back in over here and maybe make this a little bit bigger. It should be enough, maybe even more than enough. Again, we save it. You have to save it before you preview it, otherwise it won't show up. So now we know we could make it a little bit smaller if we wanted to, but it says 1319, August 2nd, 2014. So this is basically, as I said, a real basic, brief tutorial on kind of how to use this. And then basically we just kind of go back and start plugging things in. We can add more pictures, like we could add videos, we could add all kinds of different things to it. It's really kind of a nice program. It shouldn't be too tough once you get used to it. Realistically, if we create the template, then all we really would have to do is whoever's making the edits to it just needs to come over here, maybe edit you know, the things that we want to stay focused, like we want the students to be able to see at all times, like, you know, maybe today there's a mandatory meeting for freshmen, or, you know, tomorrow is senior skip day, be prepared, you know, things like that. While maybe on this one, maybe we have teachers create their own images of things like, you know, maybe DECA is selling something or doing a movie night. Maybe the football team is doing a car wash and they want to make some type of small image that promotes that, and we just put it right up on here. Now, one thing that it doesn't show you on here, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then I'm going to go back to the presentations. It doesn't show you everything. So I'm going to go to this layout. This is kind of one that I have created so far for the like I said, this is just a proposed one. This doesn't mean that this is what we're going to use, but just kind of something that I was working on to help show you guys. But right here is a nice little scroll bar that I liked. And what it could allow us to do is also put some other things on there that maybe we need to put up, and we know that the students aren't necessarily reading it, but we want it up there for the students to be able to read it if they want. A good example of that would be all of that food stuff. I've noticed that some students read it, but the majority don't. So rather than maybe putting it in here or putting it into an image that it's got so much information on it, it's going to be hard for the students to read it in a couple of seconds that the picture is up. We put it into a small little scrolling bar here, and bam, it's constantly going. The students can, you know, start reading it at any point in time because it's broken up into different sentences, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and preview this just so that you can kind of see how some of it works. It might take a little bit because I did use quite a few gadgets here, as well as quite a few pictures, so it may take a minute or two to load. We'll hide that. And here we go. Okay, so up here I kind of had a little gadget that just kind of shows sports scores. I don't know, I was kind of thinking of it as maybe it'd help students stay off their phones as much, kind of walking through the halls, look up, they see their sports team, this is how they did yesterday or when the game is tonight. Doesn't have to be on there, just something, like I said, I'm just putting stuff together as a kind of like a, this is what it could look like, what do we want, what do we not want at this point. But the scrolling bar, it's kind of nice. You can put as much in it as you want so far as I can tell. I haven't seen a limit. We can create, you know, borders to put our announcements in. Right now it's really kind of plain, but again, it's just kind of to show the different types of things that we could do with this. So if you have any questions, please let the tech department know. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully we can move forward with this project and have this be a great part of the students' day to stop and be able to look at these announcements and things such as that. Thank you for tuning in.